Good morning, Jackson, Mississippi, and all surrounding areas. You have tuned in to the free-range human show of choice. Your daily dose of reality radio starts now on 103.9 WYAB. I am your host, Clay Edwards, and this is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm live here on a beautiful, is it Wednesday already? Hump day. I hate that, but it never gets old at the same time, does it? I hate when other people do it. But it's funny when I do it. Hump day. Anyway, it's Wednesday. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm live here in the studio solo this morning. So we're streaming live also on the Save Jackson Facebook page, the first segment of the show. So for the first 15 minutes, if you want to watch on Facebook, well, you can do that too. And then we go live exclusively at 103.9 on the FM dial, or WYAB.com, or the TuneIn app. Just go search WYAB. If you want to follow me on social media, I'm on the Twitters at Save Jackson, that's Save JXN, Facebook at Save JXN, or you can just go search Clay Edwards. I'm there as well. Unfortunately, my old page got deleted, so I have no access to the Clay Edwards Show Facebook page, so it's just kind of a dead page there. So if you send any messages or anything to that, I will not be able to get them and or reply to them. But my personal page is open to the public, and I invite any and all communication. I love talking with you guys. If you want to call into today's show, if you disagree, agree, want to argue, want to tell me I'm right, the Haik of Flowood, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram studio phone number is 601-879-0002. If you'd like to text the show, maybe you're a little shy, you don't want to talk, maybe you're at work, 769-241-1944 is the text line. And by the way, that goes straight to my cell phone, and you can text me anytime, day or night. If I'm busy, I may not reply, but I try to reply to every text I get. If somebody takes the time to text me, I try to be respectful and at least text back. So, I welcome the communication. I saw something this morning. Well, first off, I want to say this. I just posted about this on Facebook. If you're riding around town for the next 30 days or so, or however long we decide to do it, at least at the end of the month, you're going to start seeing some Clay Edwards Show billboards. I'm investing out of my pocket to try to build the show up a little more. And we even got a billboard right there in Pearl on I-20 in front of Bass Pro Shops on the very billboard that they had the trans kids belong. That got me. And if you follow me on social media, that's the billboard having the audacity to speak ill of that billboard is what got me kicked off Facebook. So I thought it was poetic justice to get a Clay Edwards Show billboard in that very location. So if you happen to be out and about and you see any of these Clay Edwards Show billboards, we're on the reservoir, we're in Pearl, and just for giggles and grins, we're right there on I-20 in front of the old Allstate building, the Jackson State E-Commerce Center. We got a Clay Edwards Show billboard there as well. That's on the rotating digital billboard thing. You may see it, you may not, but at the off chance you do, snap a picture of it, post it on Facebook, tag your boy in it, and I may have something special for you. Maybe I'll fill your car up with gas. I would like to see them, and I don't have the time to run around and do it myself. So, all right, look, we have already got a call here from our good friend Derek on the Haik of Flowood phone line. Derek, brother, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, brother. I just want to get it in early real quick and just say kudos to Ag Commissioner Andy Gibson for his efforts. I mean, because all you got to do is build it. Once you build it, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? I don't know if his plans is used as a holding facility or what the plans are, but it's a start. It's more than any of these Democrat leaders in like the last, 20 years has ever come up with.
Yeah, I've actually got that article pulled up here somewhere. I wanted to make a point to read it on today's show because Andy is going to turn the old Armour, his plan is anyway, to convert the old armory into a crime fighting hub for Jackson. But I will say this, and I don't know what the logistics are on this happening or, what the landmines are, But I would have preferred to see the Naval Building turned into the crime fighting hub. I thought the executive director, the boss, whatever, the president over at WLBT, made a good point. The state already owns that building. The Capitol Police already use it to store their vehicles there, some other stuff, but maybe they can't use it. I don't know what the case would be, but it seems more turnkey ready without having to make a big investment into the Armory. But with that said, that Armory holds a lot of special memories from me growing up. One of the first concerts I ever went to was inside that Armory, and I would love to see that old building restored.
You know, I think the city leaders need to take a page out of his playbook. You have stuff already in place. You just got to utilize it. You know, like that downtown facility, it don't look like you need that much maintenance, you know, but you let it be a social program, and I bet you they'll find money for that.
Oh, just like Kim Wade says, another community center.
Yeah. Community center or arts or cultural center or all the other nonsense. Well, like I said, I just want to give him kudos because, you know, I make it my business every year to service in several of his functions he has. One at the Ag Museum and the State Fair, of course. And, you know, and one thing about Commissioner Gibson, you know, he knows you by name, you know, and every year I've been, you know, doing what I do, you know, he makes it his personal business to come speak to everyone, you know.
Yeah, every time I see Commissioner Gibson, he knows me by name, and I just think that's cool. That never gets old, somebody remembering your first name, especially a guy that meets hundreds of people a week.
Well, you know, it's just like at the breakfast, Clay. Mike Hurst. I grew up around him, and his dad was a stand-up guy, and we sat there, was just chopping it up like the good old days.
Yep. Sorry about that. Somebody else called in, but the phone.
It's quite all right. But yeah, you know, it's good to have somebody you know on a first name basis. They only acknowledge you until it's you know, totem time. You know, like Benny Thompson does with the fish fries and all that type of stuff. But yeah, kudos to Eddie Gibson, and have a good day, friend.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was Derek on the phone there. If you're streaming this live on social media, unfortunately you can't hear the phone calls. That's why I implore you guys to tune in live on the FM dial at 103.9. Yeah, so the commissioner, Andy Gibson, is saying that we should turn the old Armory down there on the fairgrounds into a crime-fighting hub of sorts. And I'm all for seeing something converted, an old building restored. I mean, that's the whole premise of the Save Jackson platform. That's how it all started, was abandoned property and seeing it, and blighted property, seeing it converted into something that's being used. And it's, you know, just to the point of the situation that happened down there at the fairgrounds during that crawfish bowl. What a disaster that we can't have a dang mudbug festival without some thugs and trash. I mean, people got so mad at me for calling the kids that did that trash. They're trash. Y'all watching right now. Trash. It's trash. And the fact that people try to defend that it's not trash. And then the family of one of the shooters got on there and said, the system failed him. Mental illness. The audacity of these people to blame terrible behavior on mental illness. I know plenty, and it's mental health awareness month too, by the way. So shout out to anybody out there that's dealing with the mental health struggle. Look, I put on a happy face here, but I deal with it personally every day. My people in my family deal with it. Mental health is a real issue, but it is not an excuse to go out there and be a terrible human being. And it's an insult to people who deal with mental illness to go out there and take a AR-15 or whatever he was using to a mudbug festival and shoot a bunch, 8 people now. The number went up from 5 to 8 to shoot 8 people because you got your butt whooped in a fight. No excuse for that. Zero excuse for that. And we'll never justify that kind of behavior. There's nothing that justifies that kind of behavior. But our great mayor is he's sad. He's sad because he's wrong about Jackson not being safe. He ain't sad because Jackson ain't safe. All right, man, we got another call here from Nate. Hey, brother, you on there? Oh, hey, good morning, sweetie. How you doing?
Last Monday was
I can't quite hear you. Say that again. Well, it looks like we got a bad connection there. I hate that. That's Nathan's little daughter. We'll say hey to her this morning. Happy belated birthday to you. And but the phone was cutting out there, and unfortunately, it doesn't make for good radio when we can't hear people on the other end of the line. So, but to the point about the mayor, let's see here. I got this pulled up on WAPT, and I know Kim has talked about this on his show, but this right here. So this is a statement from Antar on the weekend's violent crime, which 7 people were killed in Jackson over the weekend. 7. We went from 43 post-birth abortions in Jackson on Friday morning to by Monday morning we had 49 post-birth abortions. And that's what we're calling murder now in these Democrat cities here on the Clay Edwards Show, by the way. These are post-birth abortions. So that's what Democrats want. Democrats want to be able to kill the babies as soon as they're born if the woman decides that she doesn't like it. Like, no, that didn't come out the way I wanted it to. Let's abort it. That's what Democrats like Antar want. So that's what we're going to call these homicides in Jackson. These are now exactly what they are, exactly what an abortion is. They're homicides, they're murder. These are post-birth abortions. 49 of them. We're about to hit the half-century mark. And if you're curious where we were at last year during our record-breaking year of 153 recorded homicides, which I bet you the number's really closer to 200. There's no way it's not. But we're right on track. We're basically 1 or 2 homicides off this day versus where we were at this day last year. You can follow that on WLBT. CJ LeMasters does a great job with the homicide tracker. There's a tab that says Jackson Crime. Hover over that tab. Then a couple options come down, and one says Jackson Homicides. When the local news channel actually keeps up with the Jackson homicides, they have a tracker, and it goes back several years, so you can track by date where we were at. CJ does a great job with that on WLBT.com. All right, look, man, we're going to take a break real quick. You're listening to the Clay Edwards Show. If you were streaming live on Facebook, tune into the radio, 103.9 WYAB, and we'll be right back on the radio right here on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, the free-range human show of choice, the kickoff to a full day of reality radio here on 103.9 WYAB. This segment is going to be brought to you by me, Auto Armour. Man, check out my business. I'm right there in Flowood on Mangum Drive. You heard the commercials. I am unapologetically American, unapologetically patriotic, unapologetically pro-Trump, pro-MAGA. And I'm tired of woke businesses telling me they're woke and I should just get over it. Well, I'm telling you, I'm patriotic. I'm American. I'm mega MAGA. Anyway, Auto Armour, support patriot-owned businesses. If you need your vehicle detailed, ceramic coated, a lot of people right now are having to keep their used vehicles longer than they planned because it's so hard to get new vehicles, except at Mac Haik of Flowood. It's so hard to get new vehicles that they're keeping the old vehicles longer. And let's protect that. We're going into the summer months here in Mississippi. Let us bring your paint back to life through our paint correction system of 3-step polish. And then we can ceramic coat it if you so choose. We offer a 12-month that you can save a little money on, or we offer a lifetime guarantee with the System X Max coating. And that's what a lot of these people are putting on these higher-end vehicles, boats, and whatnot. But again, going into the summer months, that heat is going to beat the crap out of your paint. We can help you protect it. If you're getting ready to sell your car and you want to bring max value to it, bring it by. Let us polish out. Let us get it nice and shiny for you. I spent 12 years in the car business. I appraised as a used car manager. I've appraised thousands of cars. I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is factual information, that if you bring a car to me and the paint is and the clear coat are well protected and shiny and they look like you've taken care of your car, you've got you've got a bargaining chip there. You're going to get more money for your trade-in. And the used car market is all out of whack right now. The more money you can get, the better you're going to be, especially if you're trading it in on another vehicle. So with all that said, check out Auto Armour, AutoArmourMS.com, or just hit me up, 601-260-0858. We work by appointment only, by the way. So just a heads up there. All right. I got a little distracted with phone calls in the last segment. I was going to read Antar's statement about him being sad. So this is from the city of Jackson government, and the guy that runs this Facebook page and runs all their social media, he's something else. He actually runs a Clay Stan account on Twitter. We'll talk about him one day. All right, so this is from Chokwe. I am heartbroken by the violence that occurred in Jackson this weekend. The perpetrators will be held accountable for their actions, and I mourn with the victims and their families. Our needs in Jackson are many, and I am currently at a conference to address infrastructure issues cities like Jackson face and find contemporary solutions to climate change, which affected much of the South during the winter crisis of 2021. I am out of town, probably at the Cheetah Lounge, but I remain in contact with JPD. I want the residents to know my administration has been working on a comprehensive approach to address the scourge of violent crime in Jackson. Well, scourge has been going on for almost 5 years now since you took office, and it's only getting worse. So whatever plan you're formulating, you may want to reverse it. Just simply reverse, abort, not that kind of abort, not pink house style. You may want to abort whatever plan you and your administration are putting into action here. But anyway, I digress. We are working closely with Hinds County to make essential upgrades and improvements to the court and detainment process where a backlog in cases and federal consent decree has prevented justice from being carried out in many cases. We are committed to opening a crisis intervention office to address the root causes of violent crime before it occurs. The result of a $700,000 in funding from the Wells Fargo Foundation. The data is clear. These incidents are almost all, here's his favorite word, interpersonal, and occur among individuals who know one another and have access to high-powered semi-automatic weapons and high-capacity magazines. I also want to make it clear that our officers, at the risk of their own lives, are doing everything they can to make arrest and investigate cases. We understand their immense value and commitment to public safety. Oh, so now he understands the police's value to public safety. This is why we continue to hold recruitment classes to bolster our police department, find ways to pay officers better, and establish a real-time crime center to fill the gap. For those who experience this trauma, all too often, these words might sound hollow. It is precisely for that reason I am working behind the scenes to address a badly broken system. It is unacceptable. Work must continue. Now, I do have a buddy of mine, and I hope you don't mind me saying this. Eric Fox, I believe, is working down there at that real-time crime center, and that is a great deal down there. And I'm hoping to get a tour of that soon, because that's the type of stuff we need in Jackson. But unfortunately, if we can't get out, if we don't have enough officers to fight said crime, none of it's going to matter. And if we don't get God back in the home, if we don't get fathers back in the home, again, none of this is going to matter. You can arrest everybody. And look, I'm all for it in some cases, but none of it's going to matter. We had we had Wayne Withers on here yesterday, arm wrestling champion. And one of the first things he talked about was how growing up in the home with his father and the role his father played in him chasing his dreams and doing the arm wrestling, or what, I'm just using this as an example. It was arm wrestling and weight training and all that. And he's a big old boy, but it was the father in the home that spent the time with him, and he looked up to his dad. And, I was the same way with my dad. My dad came by and saw me yesterday afternoon at the shop and reminded me that when I moved back from California in 2000. It'd have been 99, 2000. I lived out there for about a year, depending on who you ask. Mom says it was about 6 weeks. I say it was about a year, but she's probably right. I'm probably wrong. He's like, Clay, is there a broadcasting school you want to go to? My dad saw this in me way before I ever did. And he told me that he saved an email that I sent him from California, and he sent me back. And, man, I almost broke down there at the shop. But it just goes, when the father's in the home and plays an active role, even if it's a divorced family, but the father still plays an active role in the child's life, it is exponential. I mean, the chance for them being successful in life and staying out of trouble is exponentially higher. I don't have to tell you all that. I mean, you hear the commercials from Teen Challenge. They run commercials here on the show. They say, putting fathers back in the home. Man, that's a huge thing. That is absolutely a huge thing. I'm going to have, this is a little breaking news here. This is huge for me. One of the very first guests I ever wanted to book when I started doing this was my pastor, Terry Fant from Hickory Ridge Baptist Church. I've been needling Terry about coming on this show since day one. And understandably, the show is going through ebbs and flows, and it can be controversial at times, even though I don't know why the truth is ever controversial. The truth is just the truth. I mean, if it hurts your feelings, that it may be time to look in the mirror. Anyway, but Terry's going to be on the show with me Monday. He's going to be here in studio for 2 full hours, and we're going to talk about these very things: being a father, being a leader, standing up in your community, all these things. Leadership, faith, family, and just being men and the struggles men deal with. I'm super excited about this. I don't even have to do any show prep for this because I've been doing show prep for this my whole life. Terry and I have known each other since we were 15 years old. And fast forward through high school, through college, through working in bars together, to him going to seminary school and becoming a pastor of one of the largest congregations in the area. He even baptized me right there in Cleary Lake. Cleary Pond, whatever you want to call it, about 4 or 5 years ago when I got resaved and I changed my life. And I've had ebbs and flows with my faith and with being the best Christian, but I'm really excited about having Terry on the show. And I know I digressed a little bit from talking about fathers and homes there, but that's going to be a big topic on the show Monday. All right. Again, the Mac Haik and Flowood phone line is 601-879-0002. And we got a couple texts here from folks. Says, keep up the good work, brother. Oh, that was from Friday. Says, yeah, like they worked so hard to find out who murdered my dad. What a joke. Yeah, man, that's so sad, brother. I'm telling you, man. And that's a buddy of mine whose father was killed in Jackson back a few months ago. And they know who did this stuff. But they can, again, JPD. And it's not, and I hate having to always qualify this comment because I have a lot of friends in JPD and I respect a lot of the officers there. But the higher ups and the mayor have done JPD a huge disservice. It's been gutted. It's just a training ground now for other local law enforcement agencies, a recruiting ground, should I say. And you got some guys, man, who have wrote it out, man. God bless them. I don't want to name drop them on the radio because I don't want them to get in trouble by being friends with the evil Clay Edwards. But you got some great guys out there. You know who you are. Thank you. And to my buddy Nolan, man, we're still keeping you and your family in our prayers, and we hope they find out who killed your dad. Let's see if we got a text here. It says, Chucky should resign. Yeah, unfortunately, his ego is not going to allow him to do such a thing. Let's see here. We got another text. Says, I remember Jason Wells, Republican candidate that ran, said he would turn the old Coca-Cola plant into a jail in an article. It wouldn't be a terrible idea. Take the jail to the people. Take the jail to where the people are. And I absolutely agree with that. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened with Jason. He won the Republican candidacy in the primary there and fell off the face of the earth after that. Asked his fiance to marry him, and then she came up missing, and just all kind of crazy stuff. But he was always nice to me. I try to treat people on an individual basis. Like, I don't care what other people say about you. I don't care what you've done to other people. If you're treated Clay respectfully, I'm going to treat you respectfully. Now, that's come back to bite me more times than not, but that's how I want people to treat me. So that's how I try to treat people. All right, look, man, we're going to take a break real quick. You're listening to The Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB.
America, you love your country, so it goes without saying that you also love your ride. And Auto Armour in Flowood wants to help you make that ride shine. Auto Armour in Flowood is Central Mississippi's premier automotive detail and ceramic coating shop, servicing any type of vehicle, including ATVs, boats, and more. Need just a quick detail or paint correction? Auto Armour can make it happen. But if you're set to hit the road in a blaze of glory while flying the old red, white, and blue, Auto Armour should be your first and last call to give your ride a full ceramic coating. Auto Armour is locally owned and operated by the loud and proud American patriot Clay Edwards. Auto Armour also proudly backs the blue, all military, and first responders. So don't forget to ask for your discount. Call 601-260-0858. 601-260-0858. Or stop in today, fellow Americans. Auto Armour is located at 4394 Mangum Drive in Flowood. Online at AutoArmourMS.com. Auto Armour, unapologetically American.
Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by my good friends over at Watkins Construction and Roofing. A roof repair can cause you a lot of stress. Choosing the right roofing company to repair your roof is going to be very important. Most contractors will try to convince you that replacement is the only way to go, and that, my friends, is not the Watkins way. They believe in an honest assessment that doesn't necessarily mean replacement. In most cases, all you need is a repair. So give Watkins Construction and Roofing a call today for a complimentary roof assessment at 601-966-8233, or check them out online at watkinsconstructioninc.com. And I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it again now. Locally owned, locally operated. You got a great man in Michael Deere and his team running that place. They've got hundreds and hundreds of 5-star reviews online. And I'm going to tell you, to get one person to go give a 5-star review is like breaking an arm to do so. To have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of them, that's because they do great work. And look, you know, most people only go online to complain. So when you can accumulate 5-star reviews like they have, you're doing something right. They always give back to the community. They're the first in line to give back to the community. Always sponsoring local stuff. Love those guys. Check them out today. Watkins Construction and Roofing Inc.com. All right. So I read the article about, not the article, but the press release from the mayor, and I could dissect it, but he's wrong. I don't know what else to say. You run on the platform that you're going to fix infrastructure. You run on the platform that you're going to fight crime. And then all you do is blame all these problems on other people when you're piping money to consulting firms and whatever other waste. The only good thing, in my opinion, that has come out of the Lumumba administration actually came from his sister, Rakia, I believe her name is, and what she's done with the strong arms of Jackson folks. I like what they do there. We're actually going to have Benny Ivy on the show. He's branched off somewhat and or expanded, should I say, and has strong arms of Rankin County now. And they got a big fundraiser coming up, so we're going to have him on in a couple weeks, in June sometime. I forget the exact date, but we'll promote it as it gets closer. We're going to have Benny on. We're going to talk about the strong arm stuff, but that came out of his sister helped with them getting some funding and whatnot. And I do support that. I can't sit here and say everything's been a wash, but everything else has been a wash. It's been terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. I don't have to tell y'all. I mean, over 500 homicides since he took office, a failing infrastructure, businesses leaving left and right. I know you're getting a few bars and restaurants that open up, and God bless them. I still feel sorry for y'all with the water situation. I wouldn't do it. I mean, for what you're paying in rent in Jackson, and if one of the few 2 or 3 areas left worth doing anything, you could pay over in Rankin County. It just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. But again, God bless y'all. We didn't get to talk about this much yesterday, but they had another shootout down on Capitol Street, there in front of the King Edward and the Daiquiri Bar and all that stuff. Over 100 rounds fired, and God bless it, nobody can aim, but over 100 rounds fired and nobody shot. But all the windows are shot out of the innocent businesses that didn't have anything to do with it. The folks living in the King Edward, are y'all regretting that move yet? Or the Standard Life? We always just say the King Edward, never mention the Standard Life. Are y'all regretting moving down there yet? I follow this couple, this little middle-aged white couple that moved down there on Facebook. And they're always posting these pictures downtown and all this stuff. And look, I lived downtown. I was that guy. I owned a nightclub, and I lived downtown there in the Ironworks apartments. Ironically, where Polo lived when he decided to do what he did. But and I loved it. I mean, the sight lines, all that. I want to tell you, the old buildings are beautiful, but it's just not somewhere you want to live. I'm just going to be 100 about this. Under the current environment, unless you work downtown and you're single, it's just not somewhere you want to live. It's dang sure not somewhere you want to raise a family in downtown Jackson. There's a few restaurants, there's a few little things, but there's still nothing to do. There's no gas stations especially they're open on the weekends. There's no grocery store. To live downtown, you still have to do all your business in the suburbs. It just doesn't work. Until they get a grocery store down there and it's safer. People can say whatever they want. Oh, well, it's less crime down there because there's nothing to steal. All the cars are parked in parking garages and businesses are closed. But when they do have crime, you have stuff like what happens there on Capitol Street with the dirt bikes and four-wheelers running up and down, massive shootouts. You realize that that's the second shootout like that on Capitol Street in the last few months. Remember a few weeks ago when there was one, and I think one of the cars crashed into right there in front of the Edison Walthall building? Then there was another one where I think somebody got shot further away, but the car finally stopped and they were dead or shot. I can't remember how it ended. There's so much of it. But right there at the same intersection in front of the governor's mansion where that Bruce Willis movie was filmed, and they had a shootout. Make it make sense for me, man. Why would you move down there? All right, we got a caller on the Haik and Flowood phone line. Hey, caller, you're on there. Good morning, you're on there.
Hey, Clay.
Hey.
Hey, has Capitol Police not taken over downtown yet?
Man, they are getting up to speed. I think they're trying to get up to like 115 or 150 officers. Their infrastructure was not quite ready for what they've inherited, so they're having to get more officers. I think they got a new commander. It's going to be a year and a half process, them getting up to speed.
Okay. Well, I knew that they had kind of started somewhat doing that, but I guess they just hadn't spread completely out through the downtown area.
Yeah, and I don't know that they have control of that end of Capitol Street there. I'm not 100% sure because I always see JPD doing that, and then I think theirs may start on the other side of Fair Street, kind of going up Capitol by the governor's mansion.
Well, I agree with you on one thing. Until Chalk Blind Lumumba, as Kim calls him, until he's gone, nothing's going to change within downtown. So, good luck to him.
Yeah, good luck to him. I appreciate it, brother.
All right, Clay.
All right, bye. Yeah, look, man, I used to be a little optimistic or naive, we'll even say. But now I flipped the script on it. There's no saving Jackson. It ain't going to happen. The page Save Jackson is just a bit of irony at this point. All right, we got another call on the Haik and Flowood phone line. Hey, good morning, caller. You're on there.
Good morning, Clay. Got two things. Number one is I'm glad that the people that were doing the shooting this past weekend don't take advantage of some of our local shooting ranges. And secondly, I want to go buy my ammo where those guys buy theirs. Because if they can run out 100 rounds of ammo at one person, how much was that person's life worth in ammo-wise?
Hey, look, I say this all the time, and I know as a gun guy, I'm not supposed to say this out loud, but I haven't shot my guns in 2 years because my ammo's so dang high that I really want to make it count when I have to use it.
That's exactly right. I have been very sparingly keeping my skills up, but at the same time have taken up reloading so that I don't have to pay that, exaggerated price.
Look, man, I stockpiled and bought a bunch during the pandemic when it was so scarce and all hell was breaking loose everywhere. And I'm like, man, I can't invest in any more ammo right now. I'm scared too.
I can't either. At 100 rounds plus, and they said that it was an AR style round or something like that. Man, you're talking about at 100 rounds, you're talking about almost $200 worth of ammo.
Yeah, and they blew through $200 worth of ammo down there, assuming they were using some kind of semi-automatic rifle.
Right, yeah. So keep up the good work, my friend. Have a great day.
You as well, brother. Appreciate you. Great call there. I mean, good point. We repeat a lot of this stuff on here a lot, about ammo and about this, but it bears repeating. And one of the things you get from Jacksonians all the time is, you don't like it, leave. Y'all don't live here. You live in Brandon. You live in Rankin County. You live in Pearl. White trash. You think Jackson folks would be shocked to find out that black folks live in Rankin County too? Like if they actually get over the bridge and get there and realize that all the black people there, they don't live in Jackson. They're not there visiting. They live in Rankin County. And then the white liberals, of course. This is all because of white liberalism. White liberalism have driven black Democrats on the bus right off the cliff. Follow us, guys. We're your friends. We're your allies. We hate those filthy Trump-supporting conservatives, too. Now, look, we're going to make you a part of the LGBTQ LMNOP plus community, but we're going to rally an ally against those evil white conservatives, and anything wrong in y'all's community is because of them. You can hear that conversation now. You really can. All right, look, Derek, stay on hold there. I got you on hold. We'll end the show with your phone call. You're listening to The Clay Edwards Show. We're going to take one last break, and we'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB. All right, welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This last segment of the day is going to be brought to you by Lakeland Glass and Tint, where quality matters. For all your home, car, and automobile window tinting needs, automotive windshield replacement needs, and vehicle wrapping needs. That's right. If you need to get your vehicle turned into a rolling billboard, Lakeland Glass and Tint now offers that as well. Give them a call, 601-946-1000 or LakelandGlassandTint.com. And on the Mac Haik of Flowood phone line, Mr. Derek is back. One last thing. Derek, what you got, brother?
Clay, real quick, some advice for you, man. When people say that, y'all ain't from here, all y'all do is just take the money you make here and back across your counties. Respond this way, like I told somebody one day, and the organization I've been with since 2017. I don't speak for them, so I'm not going to say it on the air. I said, hey, look, Jackson is my state's capital. The last time I checked, you don't have a sole monopoly on it. Yes, I do live in Rankin by the res, but I serve here. My personal motto is excellence in service. I said I've been volunteering with the city ever since 2017. Never seen you down there. If you want to help, strap on a Sam Brown. That's what I tell them, because people love to get beside themselves. And don't get me wrong, it's not a poor frog that won't praise his own pond. But again, I don't want to hear you complain about gentrification either. When you're sitting there allowing that decay to happen around you, and when somebody wants to come in and make it economical, you want to complain. You have no right to complain.
Yep. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you, Derek, for calling back in there. Yeah, look, I got a little off track when I was doing my LGBTQ LMNOP white liberal impression, purple-haired Fondren barista impression. But yes, it's our state capital. Our tax dollars go to the state capital. So regardless of where we live, we do actually have some say-so in what goes on in Jackson. And Shad White said it best, and I was going to get to this. He's got a great article. It's on WLBT.com, and he talks about Jackson crime is causing brain drain on our community, on our state. It's our best and brightest are leaving Jackson or leaving Mississippi because our biggest city is a hellscape. All right, guys, look, I appreciate you. I know somebody trying to call in. We'll have to catch you tomorrow. Today is the Clay Edwards Show. Jim Thorne is up next, followed by Mike Madison. Podcast will be available shortly at clayedwardsshow.com and on all major podcasting and music streaming platforms. See you tomorrow with Anson Walker.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.